Merry Christmas and Happy Hanukkah, Camp Davy Crockett.
I'm Hayden.
And I'm Zeph.
I'm Dale.
And welcome to the Camp Davy Chronicles.
Christmas spectacular episode of the final episode of the year.
Yeah, that's true. I meant to say...
That's the official name.
I forgot to say it was Merry Christmas, but that's what I meant to say when I was...
Instead of welcome. You can still... They're still welcome. Yeah. And welcome to Dale, our camp director, our scoutmaster, our friend.
You couldn't be friends with Anthony. I heard that. Your colleagues.
Yes. Yeah, that kind of hurt my feelings a little bit, but I guess I'll let him slide.
Glad to be here, guys.
So do you consider us to be friends, Dale?
I do.
Okay.
This is a good one.
Get that handled right at the beginning.
Yeah.
We're very glad to hear it.
We'll take care of your feelings right off.
So, for the benefit of our listeners who probably mostly know you, but if you could just briefly tell us who you are.
I am the camp director for Camp Davy Crockett.
The best camp.
Yes. We like it so much we made a whole podcast about it.
Exactly.
That's true. Yeah, this is a unique one. This is the first time that we were recording in the actual headquarters office, Dale's office. And so this is the first time that we went to you instead of somebody coming to us.
That's true. He couldn't be bothered to move to a different location for us.
Thank you, guys.
But this one's definitely got a better view. You can see like the dining hall and the chapel and everything. So on the other one, you just saw an open field.
That's true.
So, okay.
Well, I mean, that's where Dale lives. So
And beautiful sunshine today.
Yeah, it's turned out to be a nice day today. I thought it was going to be cold, but it's nice and warm. Okay. So this was a user-submitted question, which we found out last time was an actual user-submitted question, but I just remembered it later on. What would you like to be, or what do you want to do when you grow up?
Nothing. I'm already old. I'm ready to quit.
That's a good answer. Everybody else has kind of just, been goofy, but I like that. When you grow up, you want to just kind of relax and simmer down.
Just chill.
Yeah. So what did you do before you were here at camp?
I worked for Eastman Chemical Company. When I retired, I was, officially special projects manager, but worked all the way through the system over the years.
So this is like your retirement vacation.
Yes.
Because not many people would want to retire and then come down and work away at camp.
That was not my plan. That was my destiny, but not my plan.
Yeah. So, but I know you enjoy it because you always work with a smile, and I always see it as a happy.
That's true. Dale is a very happy person. Yeah.
You're right, guy.
So in that vein, I have a Christmas themed question for you here.
Okay.
On a scale of Scrooge to Santa Claus, how much Christmas spirit are you feeling today?
Today?
Yes.
I'm closer on the Santa Claus side.
Okay.
Yeah, that's true. If anybody's seen our dining hall, I don't know how much of it is you or Cheryl, but if anybody's seen our dining hall, it is very Christmas themed and decked out right now.
I'm sure it is.
So I think there's like 4 or 5 Christmas trees in there, and it's pretty impressive. We might post some pictures of it on the Instagram.
That's good.
Christmas is my favorite holiday. I know when you talked to Greg last month, or a couple of weeks ago, it was Thanksgiving was his, but at my house when I was growing up, Thanksgiving was essentially a half a day off from work, and we had farm work to do the rest of the time. But Christmas was actually fully celebrated.
Well, I guess you picked the right people for the right episode. So there you go. And related to the question, the reason that I initially suggested that you be our guest for Christmas is because you're the closest person that I know to Santa Claus. So,
with the white beard.
Yeah. And the jolly disposition.
And I'm working on the rotund figure.
Okay, so let's get into some camp stuff. So first, I guess this one's a pretty easy one. What positions have you held at camp?
camp director.
Yeah.
And Wednesday crew.
Yeah, you've been on the Wednesday crew. Well, you're the first one that we've talked to that knows a lot about the Wednesday crew. So explain to us what the Wednesday crew is. Oh, that's true. Well, explain to us what the Wednesday crew is.
Wednesday crew is made up of retirees, mostly men. We do have women come in and help us, and we do have some college-age young people. You two occasionally come in with a few others. But the whole goal is just to have some fellowship, and there's generally a lot of that first thing in the morning with coffee, and then get some work done around camp. A lot of times it is we're building stuff, but a lot of times it's repairing, fixing, and improving.
Yeah, I think the Wednesday crew is one of the coolest, most unique things that we have because when I first came down to camp, I saw all this stuff and I always wondered how everything was upkept. And I knew that there was a ranger, but I knew that, that they weren't the only ones doing things. And here recently, I've got to see behind the scenes, and they do a lot. I didn't realize that a group of older retired people could do as much, but I mean, they are awesome people. They've built like 3 buildings, and you were talking the other day about how you guys get in this like groove of doing one thing and then switching back and forth. It's really cool to watch. So
yeah, we're sort of in the concrete groove right now.
Yeah.
I do remember once upon a time, I assumed that the ranger just did everything. I was very impressed with the ranger. And then later I learned that was not true, and that made more sense.
Yeah, it's true. They're an awesome group of individuals. And, thankfully, like you said, they've allowed us to come in and help as well. And that's been cool to experience. And just a big range of knowledge that they have. It's awesome. So how many years have you been on camp staff?
3 and a half.
4?
Yeah, I think 4, because we've been on camp staff for 5 years.
Yes.
And you were one after us.
Yeah, 4 summers.
Right.
3.5 years, 4 summers.
Yeah, which is really weird because, you're the camp director. I just always kind of assumed that you've been here forever, but we've worked longer than you. So. Exactly. But that's not really true because you've been here helping with the Wednesday.
Yeah, but as summer camp staffers, right. you do rank me in seniority.
But you also live here full time now, so in total hours spent here, I'm sure you passed us.
I've made up a little bit on you.
Yes. Yeah. And so there's another question I wanted to ask. So you were one of the people who originally got to camp here when camp was opened. And so you told a story on the campfire stage that I always loved. So I was wondering if you would tell that for us.
Okay. When camp first opened, nobody drove into camp except for delivery drivers, including the ranger. The gates here at headquarters and above the parking lot were closed and stayed closed. I never seen them open until years later. And the ranger actually, when he come into camp, would park in front of the gate, which meant that all the participants had to carry their gear to their campsite and back when they were checking out.
Can't imagine.
So, I'm 11 years old, 50 pounds maybe, and probably got 150 pounds worth of gear because things were not miniaturized and lightweight back in the day. And I can remember getting to the crossroads down behind the cook's cabin in front of where Gray Squirrel and Pine Shower House is now, and going, all right, I'm camping here because this is as far as I can go. And a couple of the older guys from the troop come down, picked me up, grabbed my gear, and drug me up the hill. And I think we were at Badger. Of course, Trail Forks up there, and my memory's a little fuzzy, but we were either in Badger or Wolverine.
Yeah.
That's quite a walk.
Yeah, I always thought that was a cool story because I imagined myself doing that. And, I'm a little bit bigger than you were when you were little, I'm sure. But I can't imagine that'd be terrible because I remember my first year of summer camp, I overpacked and everything. And so it was just, it was a lot.
That's the nature of the beast.
Mm-hmm.
But it just goes back to scouts helping scouts and making a difference. And
yeah, I always love that story.
Okay, so this will be another interesting question for us to hear you answer. But what troop what troop or troops have you been with, and how many years have you been in scouting?
I've been active in scouting for over 40 years.
Wow.
I don't know the exact number, but I have been with, as a youth, I was in Troop 149, where I received my Eagle, and then worked as a assistant scoutmaster for a little while, and then I helped start Troop 82 that was based in Ross Campground, was scoutmaster there for about 7 years. Really good kids. It was not a high income area, and we were starting from scratch, so we spent as much time fundraising as we did doing scout stuff. But some really good memories. I was actually in an explorer post at Bays Mountain.
That's cool.
As a youth, I cannot remember the number. Didn't last too long. I had too many other things going on. And then most recently with Troop 240. One of the best troops in the council in the country.
Oh, yeah.
Some really good folks. Been really blessed through my scouting career to work with some really top-notch adults and have some really good youth, and huge major experiences that would never happen if in any other organization or any other setting.
Oh, that's true.
And I hear tell that some of those youth thought you were a really great scoutmaster. I won't name any names.
Maybe one or two, but
yeah, like you had said, Dell was our scoutmaster. Well, when we first crossed over to the troop, and so he's been a mentor like always since I was little. So it's been cool to like come to camp and get to see here and different things like that. So. Okay, now we're moving back to camp. All right. So what is your favorite campsite and then your favorite shelter?
I know you were going to ask this question.
So, for the people who've been down here for the longest, it's hard to like pinpoint exactly which ones you're.
Yeah. And I'd probably have to say Mountain Lion just because of the memories.
Yes.
That's where Troop 240 stayed for the majority of the years that we came as a troop. The ironic thing is Troop 82, we ended up in Buffalo, which was the next door neighbor to Mountain Lion. So most of my camping experience for summer camp has been down in the back corner, in that same corner of camp. So I would lean that way. Shelters, I have to say Freddie's place.
Oh, yeah. It's a good one.
I mean, it's our newest one. I got to participate and help build it, but then having the ability to honor Freddie and his service and helping name that after him, and it's growing. We're adding to it as we go.
Yeah, I still wish we could interview Freddie. That would be great.
Yeah, that really would. So I've got a couple other questions about. So you were talking about us having the campsite in Mountain Lion. And you always set up a tent, and it was always the same tent. And I was always fascinated because, so when I went down there and camped and I set up a tent, and I would have to, tarp it and do all this stuff, but you always seemed to like keep it dry, and like you had a bed in there and it was always fancy. And so what is the secret to keeping the tent dry?
The secret to keeping or using a canvas tent and it not leaking, I think is the question you're asking me, is when it is pulled very taut.
Okay. You
cannot just drape it on the poles and expect it not to leak. The tighter the tent is, the less likely it will be to leak.
Okay. And I think later on, I found out, which kind of killed the magic, but it was still that you would come down here earlier and kind of set it up. So because I always saw you come in and the tent was set up, and But yeah, I realized that as a youth, I always just was like, man, this guy, I aspired to be like that one day.
Yeah, I always snuck in the weekend before and set my tent up. That way I could focus on you guys and making sure you had everything right, ready to go and we're in the right places. And
yeah. How long had you guys stayed at have you stayed at Mountain Lion the whole time that you were Scoutmaster?
With Troop 240, yeah.
Okay. Because I didn't know if it was like a change there in the middle or if it was the whole time. Because I know we've only been there for however long we were in the troop.
Yeah, the troop evidently historically had stayed at Mountain Lion long before I come into the troop. And we just continued that tradition.
Yeah, that's really cool. I know that we've made a lot of memories there.
Yeah. So I was also going to ask you about your Eagle Scout. So what year did you get Eagle Scout and what was your Eagle project?
1979. I know that seems like a long time ago to you guys. And actually, the First Baptist Church of Churchill sponsored our troop, and I built a closet for their choir robes.
That's cool.
As my Eagle Scout project.
It's fancy.
Yes, it was a closet.
Okay. Next question is, what are your biggest pet peeves?
Laziness.
No, that's a good one.
Yeah.
I feel like when I was younger, I had a laziness problem. I feel like I still do, but I feel like I've gotten better over the years.
You have, Hayden, you have.
So I think that's with anybody as they get older, they start to realize that it's not always
hopefully.
Yeah. So, okay, well, we've reached the middle, so it's time for your joke of the day and word of the day.
Okay. Joke of the day. You guys will appreciate this. Couple new scouts on their first camping trip, and they didn't bring their bug spray, so they're getting eaten up by the mosquitoes. Sound familiar?
Yes.
And so they're in their sleeping bags, got their heads covered up, keep the mosquitoes off of them. One of them peeks out and he sees lightning bugs. And he said, well, we might as well give up. They're coming at us with flashlights now.
Have you ever seen those before?
You get two new little scouts that's never been in the woods.
New city kids, I guess.
City kids.
I can just imagine. That'd be hilarious.
Word of the day.
Excited for this.
All right, I'm stealing this from our original ranger,
okay,
Frank Bowman.
Okay,
that was down here at camp, and he referred to us young people at the time as whippersnappers. And the definition of a whippersnapper is a young and inexperienced person considered to be presumptuous or overconfident, which fits a lot of 11, 12, 13-year-old scouts and some even older than that. And
I didn't know it had that specific of meaning.
Yeah, I thought it was just like a country term that...
Actually... And there's some definitions that's more derogatory, but knowing Frank, it was that was not his intent when he was using it. The sentence is, I know her better than you do, you young whippersnapper.
Yeah, I like that one. That'll be a fun one to use in a sentence.
That is a great word.
Okay. Well, before we move on, I just wanted to mention that winter camp will still be available for registration. We've missed the early bird deadline, but if you want to register, you can still register online on the council website. It is a great event. It's almost full, so you need to, if you're listening to this, you need to do it like right now.
Right. Pause the episode and then sign up and then come back.
Yeah, you make sure you come back. But yeah, so sign up. It's a lot of fun. There's the Camp Davy Crockett only. You can only get them at Camp Davy Crockett merit badges, and you don't want to miss that. This will be, I think, the last year that we have these specific ones available.
Maybe.
So, okay.
Still debating that.
Yeah.
But we will probably retire one or two of them and add a couple new ones in and keep rotating them out over the next few years.
So if you haven't had the opportunity to, you need to come down and get them because this could be your only opportunity.
That's true. And it'll probably snow.
That's true.
Judging by the last 2 or 3 years.
Yes. It snowed on us the last 2 years for sure.
So I've noticed that you're drinking out of a coffee mug, and I assume you're drinking coffee. Is that correct? Okay. So this is a classic Dale Douthat beverage is coffee.
Exactly.
So I was wondering if you could tell us your favorite Scoutmaster Camp Director Dale Douthat approved method of coffee. Like what's the perfect cup of coffee for you?
Black and hot.
Okay.
Yeah, no need to fiddle with all the sugars and creams and mess it up. Just needs to be strong and black and hot.
Do you have a specific brand that you like?
Not particularly. At the house we drink, I don't remember the brand name. Tom buys the coffee for the office because he is a little more particular about what coffee he drinks. But
do you have a special way that you made it on camping trips? Is there a certain?
I actually own 3 percolators that set on the fire or stove just to make sure I have a ability to make coffee in case something goes wrong with one.
Yeah. Okay, so we talked about your favorite drink. So what is your favorite dining hall food?
I think my favorite is the roast beef that we've served for the last couple of years.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was pretty good. I think that was a new thing to the dining hall, wasn't it?
Yes.
When we moved down here. Yeah. That was good stuff. It is good
we
stuff.
changed vendors and found that in their supply list and tried it and said, well, this is really good.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's probably one of my close favorites as well.
Peanuts back there chewing on a Frisbee.
Yeah, we have the Peanut's in here with us, and he is enjoying the Frisbee.
There'll be much Frisbee left. I think it's through.
Okay. What's our next question? Oh, what is your favorite Christmas food or snack or any Christmassy thing to consume?
My mother made like a coconut peanut butter chocolate ball.
Sounds good.
And my wife got the recipe. In fact, she was making some yesterday, so I had a couple off the tray before they got put up.
Very nice.
That sounds good. Yeah, well, I don't know. Now that's just got me hungry. My favorite Christmas food. I don't know. See, because we don't normally eat like specific to Christmas.
Maybe specifically like Christmas dessert or Christmas cookies.
Okay, I like peppermint bark. I love good peppermint bark. Yeah.
At my house we make chocolate chip cookies with peppermint in them at Christmas.
That sounds good as well.
Those are good too.
Yeah. So, what is your favorite Christmas movie?
It's a Wonderful Life.
It's a classic.
Perfect answer.
Yeah.
I'm old school. I appreciate Clark Griswold and some of the other stuff, but
it doesn't get much better than It's a Wonderful Life.
That's true.
And what is your favorite Christmas tradition? It's maybe a little bit bigger question.
Probably opening presents with family on Christmas morning.
Yeah, that is a good tradition. So were your family one that got up real early and or did you?
Yeah, we had a really unique thing, semi-planned, but it actually happened more organically. We all went back home after we married and left for Christmas.
Oh,
and cool. We would spend the night, Christmas Eve, at one point with my siblings and kids and nieces and nephews. I think there was 30-some of us.
Wow.
That would spend the night, Christmas Eve night, and everybody get up and open presents. And then one of the other family traditions that we had was we always had waffles on Christmas morning breakfast.
That's fun.
Yeah. And so after all the presents were opened, everybody went to the dining room and fresh made waffles as they come off the griddle.
That sounds right. I'm just getting hungry here as we go.
Yeah, waffles do sound pretty good.
Yeah, I like waffles quite a bit.
Yes.
So, okay. So a goofy question: if you could have one superpower, what would it be? Any superpower?
This one I did not think through.
I was thinking about this as Greg answered it, and I don't know. I don't know what I would want as a superpower. There's so many options that it's just.
Actually, I thought of something when I listened to the last podcast, but then this age and memory thing has caught up with me. So
I don't remember what Greg said. So
he wanted to be able to time travel.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. I think I'd probably want like invisibility so that way, I could hide from people.
Well, invisibility would work really good for a camp director because I could move through staff camp and make sure you guys were behaving.
That's true.
I'll add that to my list.
That's the one superpower that Freddie had.
Yeah. He could just imagine what he appeared.
Yeah. So I think he was holding out on us. He knew what he was doing. So I'll let you ask the next one because we skipped that one.
Oh, right. Okay, yes. So now it's time for a favorite camp story. Any story that you have from your years of memory of camp?
I think one of my favorite ones in Mountain Line with Troop 240 years ago. And invariably, we always had one or two new scouts that got homesick. And one year, our senior patrol leader decided he was going to deal with that situation himself. And had one young guy that in particular was really struggling. And he took his chair and set it outside this kid's tent and read to him while he cried himself to sleep every night that week.
It's commitment.
But just seeing, an older scout give back and ensure that kid made it through that week, right, and didn't bail, because a lot of times if they leave, they're going to leave scouting. So
right,
he was focused on making sure that young man made it through. And the kid really enjoyed the daytime. It was just when it got nighttime, he'd get homesick. So
yeah,
that's nice. I mean, not the getting homesick part, but
yeah,
the scout trying to help him part.
Yeah,
right. Yeah, I think we've all been through homesickness. I know I have. You remember when I was younger, but yeah, so interesting. Okay, so now we're at the question asked by our previous guest. I said previous Greg, previous guest.
The only Greg that we've had on the podcast.
So I'm going to do this in sections because there's three questions.
Okay.
And so the first thing is, what would you want to add? One thing that you could add to summer camp.
Well, the question is,
if you could add, change, or anyways, if you could add, change, or take away one thing about summer camp, what would it be?
Well, I guess we could ask all three, or you could answer all three if you have answers for them.
Have the STEM center done and their vocational center.
Yeah,
would be the big things I would like to add. Take away would be all the potholes in the road. And TVA lowering the lake every fall.
Oh, yeah.
Because it'd be nice to have water up to the shoreline year round.
Yeah.
And
then change.
So either one of those fit into that.
Yeah.
Of course, that unlimited budget would be nice too.
Of course, yeah. It would be. We'd get a lot of stuff done.
Yeah, a roller coaster.
Yeah, I had a roller coaster.
Can you imagine? That'd be cool. I think I don't know who said it, but a couple years ago, somebody called the potholes inverted speed bumps.
That was my creation.
I've always found that funny ever since I heard that. So, but
it does keep speeding down.
That's true, yeah. Because if you go over those speed bumps at anything over like 15, you're
just gonna blow up your tires.
Yeah. So,
all right. So, do you have a question to ask our next guest?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you were in charge of promoting camp or selling camp to a troop or an individual, what would you say, or what would be your selling points?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
That's a good one.
It's a clever way of getting our next guest to promote.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Which, I mean, hey, we're already doing that. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah. But it gives me some new ideas when I listen to it.
There you go.
Right. Yeah. Anthony, Greg, and Dale have all three asked like actual thought-provoking questions. I love that the people during the summer were kind of like, some of them did, but they were also goofy questions as well.
Well, those are fun too. So.
Okay, are we ready for the thought of the day?
Oh,
I don't know. Is there anything else that you'd like to add, Dale, before we start to wrap up here?
I've really enjoyed, and I've enjoyed the podcast. I think it's gone over really well. And the ones that I have had the opportunity to listen to have been very entertaining and enjoyable.
Thank you.
Good. We appreciate it. Would you consider this your favorite podcast you've listened to?
Yes.
Hey, it's 3 for 3.
Nice.
You're the only one. Yes. You're definitely my favorite.
Okay. So I was, for the thought of the day, I considered that you enjoyed sports and that you enjoyed listening to words. And so there's a lot of them here.
You just said you and pointed to different people.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Well, Dale enjoys sport a lot. People know you.
Okay.
Dale enjoys sports and Zeph enjoys listening to words. So I was doing some research because one of my friends said that the high five is not that old. And so then I started doing some research and I found some information out. So the first ever high five appeared to have happened on live TV in 1977. During a baseball game between the Los Angeles Dodgers and the Houston Astros. After a home run, the Dodgers outfielder Dusty Baker high-fived his teammate Glenn Burke. Okay. So this seems to be the first recorded time that there has ever been a high five. Now, it's probably not the first time.
Right. I'm sure it wasn't the first time that anybody had ever hit their hand on another person's hand. I mean, I don't know.
But ever since then, it's become more popular. I don't know how they track that, but...
Well, hey, I mean...
Somebody researched it.
Once you catch it on tape,
that's true.
It's in the history books.
Yeah, but it was apparently a pretty historic event. There's a whole website about it. So if you want to look at it...
A whole website about that specific
incident, yeah.
Wow.
So, but yeah, the first ever high five was in 1977.
I wonder when the first fist bump was.
I don't know. Maybe next time.
He's got more work to do. You want me to ask my provoking thought?
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, Dale was telling me about his thought of the day.
Oh, yeah.
I know you like words and books.
Okay.
All right. So, why is a librarian not called a bookkeeper?
I'm not sure why.
I don't know. It's not a
question. It's a question.
And why is a referee not a game warden?
I don't know. What do you think, Peanut? Peanut's been quiet and well behaved the whole time. I don't know how much background noise there's been from him.
You're just gonna hear him chewing the frisbee.
Yeah.
So.
But he's up here. He's up here right next to me now, just sitting there. Oh, hi. Now he's trying to lift me. Okay. Peanut is a dog, in case anyone was wondering.
No, we have a single Peanut. Well, remember to sign up for a winter camp. That's something important not to forget.
Yes.
And
it's been a great year of podcasting with you, Hayden.
Yeah, that's true. This is the last episode of this season. So,
indeed.
The end of the 50th anniversary year.
That's true. We're about to enter into a new year of new surprises.
Yeah, it's scary.
A little bit.
So,
well, it is a merry, holly, jolly day to be a scout at Camp Davy Christmas.
Bye.
See you.
Camp Davy Chronicles.